Hi there everyone, and welcome to my Astral Warper deck profile. Back when I was opening packs as a kid, I pulled this card and it instantly became a favourite due to the artwork, so I've always had a bit of a soft spot for decks built around it. For anyone who doesn't know what Duel Masters is, it was a TCG that was in my country at least, kind of early 2000s, released by Wizards of the Coast. The main difference between this and Magic is that every monster can be in your mana zone. The main goal of this deck is to manipulate hand advantage, so the water cards here give us our own card advantage, and the dark cards take away card advantage from my opponents. So let's get into the deck profile. For the 1 mana cards, I play 4 copies of Marine Flower. This is a nice 1 mana blocker to help deal with rush decks. He is also a cyber virus, which means we can make him into an Astral Warper. For the 2 mana drops, I'm playing 4 copies of Spiral Gate, 3 copies of Grape Globo, 4 copies of Ghostly Touch, and 4 copies of Bloody Squito. For Spiral Gate, this is just a great shield trigger. It helps deal with rush decks, but it also combos well with our finishing card, which I'll get onto at the end. Grape Globo lets you see your opponent's hand, and as it is a cyber virus, he's added in because he is the second best cyber virus card that I have, and I want to make sure that I have enough evolution bait when the time comes to summon Astral Warper. Ghost Touch, another great shield trigger that forces your opponent to discard a card. Bloody Squito, really good dark blocker for stopping rush decks. Onto the 3 drops. I'm just playing a playset of Aquahulkas. I'm proxying 2 because I couldn't find any other Aquahulkases. I have quite a big collection, but it's a bit messy, and also because the game's dead, I'm not really fussed about kind of finishing the collection. I just kind of enjoy what I've got, to be honest. But yeah, Aquahulkas draws a card when summoned, and he's one of the best cards in the old TCG. He plays directly into the deck strategy of us trying to garner our own card advantage through lots of drawing. For the 4 drops, playing playset of Locomotiver. He also plays into our strategy, but at the opposite end to Aquahulkas. He's a shield trigger, and when summoned, your opponent discards a random card from their hand. For our 5 drops, playing a playset of Kuril. When summoned, she bounces a creature to the top of the deck. It outs big monsters really easily and helps us control the game. If we're discarding our opponent's cards and then controlling what they draw as well, then this game is probably going to go very well for us. For the 6 drops, I'm playing a playset of Aqua Surfer, and I'm also playing just 3 copies of Astral Warper. Aqua Surfer is a great shield trigger that bounces a card to hand when summoned, so if we're getting rid of lots of cards from our opponent's hand, we can potentially get them to discard something big. He also pairs nicely with the finishing card, which I'll show next. And then Astral Warper, he's the boss monster of the deck. When summoned, he draws you 3 cards. He provides a really big source of swing in your favour, especially when considering that you've probably been already drawing cards and discarding your opponents. So he's just a big beat stick, draws you 3 cards. He's kind of the finisher, but I do have 1 more card left in the deck just to make sure that if we don't win by this point, then we've got another chance to win. And the last 2 cards in the deck are 2 copies of Lost Soul. Lost Soul, this is our true finisher. Ideally, we play him after Astral Warper to really see out a game. He works so well with Spiral Gate and Aqua Surfer because if they're bouncing cards back into your opponent's hand, even though it's quite late in the game, when you play Lost Soul, you're getting rid of the entire hand and hopefully a few cards that you bounced on the turn before. And then also you've drawn, hopefully, at least 3 cards of Astral Warper and more from cards such as Aquahulkas before that. And by that point, you just got such a huge advantage in cards to play with and probably on board as well that you should win that game. That completes the deck profile. I really wanted to fit Emerald in here because of all the shield triggers I play. And I also wanted some copies of Hydro Hurricane because that card paired with Lost Soul is also really strong. So I was just trying to think of other ways to add a bit more consistency and maybe another win condition, but I don't know. The deck isn't exactly competitive, but it is quite fun. Anyway, thanks for watching and have a great day.